Hi everyone, this is Adya and Sana from Team Envision Me. Today we will be speaking to a psychologist, Sujata Krishnan.
I'm Mrs. Sujata Rajiv Krishnan, a practicing clinical and an organizational psychologist.
When and how did you realize you wanted to become a psychologist?
Well, during my growing up years, I realized the skill of mine that, I could be a very good confidant to my friends, to people around me. And I think helping people and reaching out to people was the first natural instinct that I had. And, I could see that anybody in trouble, irrespective of who that person was, whether I knew them, I didn't know them. You, uh, my first instinct would be to reach out and help out, and yes, I did start reading about this subject very early, and I had a fascination for it. I did have a fascination for it, and I realized this is my strength, and this is something I must do something. If I take up a profession, it should be something related to this.
What kind of psychology degree did you do, and what did the course consist of?
I did my graduation in psychology, that was pure psychology. Then, of course, my post graduation. In post graduation, yes, I had the good fortune of writing a very big dissertation in psychology, and that actually kind of created more interest. I wanted to know more about what I was doing and basically moving towards research, and that's how I did my MPhil in organizational behavior and clinical psychology, and then went towards my doctoral program. But unfortunately, the last part of my doctoral program I could not complete because I got married and I diversified and went straight into corporate sector. So that's how it happened.
Have you noticed a difference in the way people perceive psychology over the years?
Yes, 100% psychology. I think when I started studying about psychology, the only thing people thought was, "अरे क्या आप पागलों को treat करते हैं?" It was that was the kind of thing people had. It was like a stigma. People didn't know what the subject was all about. It was not only about treating patients. Today psychology has kind of it's so vast. Whether it is sports medicine, whether it is you have a sports therapist. All this was not known at that time. So yes, people and basically any kind of mentally ill people you had in your house, nobody was ready to talk about it. People were even scared to kind of talk about their issues. It could be anything as big as a child abuse, or anything as small as just feeling stressed and troubled. The word stress, people never understood the real meaning of it. But today I think with kind of people becoming more open to understanding and talking about things, yes, there has been a very positive shift today.
What was your first job experience?
About Mrs. Sujata's venture, Digdarshika in Bhopal, with her two friends.
The three of us, when we sat together one day, we were just talking. I was only 21. We were so young. So, and I think they were around 24, 25. And we were talking about our dreams. What should we do? And the three of us, when we were sitting and talking, we said, look, in this city, there is no psychologist and there is no kind of, facility for a person in trouble to come and talk. So why don't we three of us do something together? Let us set up a small clinic together, and let us start kind of working on it. So this was this was the first thought that crossed our mind, and I mean, very proud to say that ours was the first psychological clinic, or whatever you call it, in Bhopal, and we named it Digdarshika. And today Digdarshika has become such a big banyan tree, and it caters to so many things in psychology. And we were the three pioneers who started.
How lucrative is psychology as a career?
I would say if you start looking at it only as a career, okay, then you're not passionate about it, right? So that means you're looking at it, what am I going to get in terms of monetary benefits? I would put it that way very plainly, right? Anything, it's not only psychology, anything. If you're going to think about the end result first before actually wanting to, appreciate, enjoy, and really love what you want to do, I don't think you can be successful about it.
Definitely,
yeah. That's my, I mean, any kid who comes to me and asks me, okay, if I do psychology, how much will I earn? Okay, where do you think that will take me? I'm very straight and I tell him, don't do psychology. Please do some MBA or be an engineer or, anything other than that. Because this is a subject, this is not only a subject, this is going to be a part of your life. What is it that you're looking at when you say lucrative? What is your definition of, it being lucrative? That's what I would ask.
What is your favorite part of being a psychologist?
I play multiple roles as a therapist. Okay, initially, it is like, building trust and faith. Okay, so that for me, that's very important, because the initial phase of interaction, I gauge the person very, very closely, because for me it's very important that he or she has to have that comfort feeling and has to be innately open once he comes out with his issues. So yes, there it is the role of a therapist, but after that I play multiple roles. I'm a mother, I'm a friend, I'm a sister, you name it, and I enjoy these kind of role plays because the roles are shifting like this.
What is your least favorite part?
Nothing. It's in my blood. This question for me cannot exist because it's a part of me today. Sanna, I will put it that way. It's a part of me.
What is the emotional impact of being a psychologist?
This is a beautiful question, wonderful question. And I have to say this, as a psychologist, also everybody evolves with the number of cases he handles, and maybe a part of my growing up also and maturity setting in. Very initially, when I used to handle some very severe cases, okay, it was difficult for me to detach myself because, I would go through that entire emotions that person would go through. But yes, at that time, a lot of family support, friends around me, I was very blessed because they knew that I was handling something very, very confidential, something very tough. So the kind of, I would say the support that I got from people around me was beautiful. And I would say the healing process would be very fast. But this was, I think, in my very, very initial cases. Gradually, I think I myself trained myself to kind of start getting detached, or I realized somewhere I would lose my sanity. So this, I think, came with experience and the kind of cases I handled. Every case, I realized I was also maturing and growing somewhere. And detachment was something I learned, and it became a part of my persona. So yes, it was initially difficult, but today I think I am very detached. Yes, I am very emotional about each case that I handle, but at the same time there is a lot of detachment, and I know it's not going to affect me.
What skills and traits are needed to be a psychologist?
Empathy, compassion, humanness. I would put it that way. Okay. I won't say you always have to put others' need before yourself, but you must have that human compassion to understand and be sensitive to the world around you. If you have these qualities, definitely you will make a good psychologist. Basically, connecting to people. You should have that, comfort that yes, I feel happy when I'm amongst people and I'm there with them. But it's not if you're not comfortable with people around you, it's not a negative trait, but then you're not made for this. You may be good at research, you may be good at something else, but this definitely needs, people they just need to see you and something around you. That aura has to be there where that person who's coming to you feels that, wow, this is some person I think, I'll be very comfortable. That initial, that chemistry that you say, that has to be there. If that is there, then yes, things will become very easy.
What is the difference between psychologists and psychiatrists?
I'll tell you. A psychiatrist is a person who has to have an MBBS degree, right? Okay, and a psychologist need not have and does not need an MBBS degree. There are different specialized courses in psychology that you need to have and equip yourself with. Now, the difference between basically a psychologist and a psychiatrist is a psychologist, they have to work together. Okay, the psychiatrist is the person who is authorized to prescribe. A psychologist can only advise. He is not authorized to prescribe. But once the psychiatrist has diagnosed the problem, okay, the psychologist comes in for the therapy sessions. There, the psychiatrist is not equipped. It is the psychologist who's equipped and who's good at taking these therapy sessions.
So, a psychiatrist needs an MBBS degree to practice. What degree does a psychologist require?
You have post-graduation in clinical psychology. These are all 5-year courses you can go through. Or there are different universities today running special 5-year courses in clinical psychology.
It's a common misconception that psychology is not a science. Do you agree or disagree?
It is a science. So it's a combination of science in this, because there are a lot of mathematical things and a lot of, scientifically proved facts. So you can't say it is just an art. No. So I will agree that it's a combination of science and art.
Is there a lot of math and statistics involved in psychology?
That's what I said. If you're into research, if you're into writing a paper, if you're into doing your doctoral program, then yes, you have to. There is one entire subject. Okay, yes, statistical assessments and psychological assessments. You have to master that, because there is a lot of, once the data collection happens, then you have to use your mathematical skills to analyze that data, because that's all quantitative data. That's not qualitative. So to have quantitative data, you have to kind of use certain mathematical, it's like chi-square and t-assessments and all that. So
would you agree or disagree that there are very few job opportunities?
No, I don't agree to that. Because today, very smartly, if you see even MBA programs, all that has somewhere brought in psychology, organizational behavior, human resources, all this deals with psychology. So no, today I don't agree with that. From counselors in school to the corporates, everywhere. HR, if you see the human resources in every organization, and even why only this? Even army recruitments we have, no? Where you need a psychologist to do all the assessments, and it's very interesting.
Is psychology an easy subject to study?
If you're passionate about something, you will never feel whether it's easy or tough. You will just enjoy the process. It's not easy because, as I said, a lot of it is a science, and a lot of it is not. Okay, so it's a combination, because there's a lot of it which is philosophy also, and philosophy is a pure art, right? So it may appear easy, but it is not easy.
Okay.
It may appear easy, but as long as you enjoy it, I will not even look at it whether it's tough or easy. I would just say go with the flow, enjoy the process.
Thank you for watching, and we hope you enjoyed this. Look forward to learning more with us.